Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like any other ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had on his own
checkered one,
then he had
bunch of gray ones, then a bunch of brown ones, then a bunch of blue ones, then on the right top, bunch of red ones.
on the top. Right. He walked down the streets, up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. And as he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale."
15 cents a caps.
But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red one. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town slowly, so as not to upset his
Caps.
He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own,
Go on.
then the,
Then a bunch of gray ones, then a bunch of brown, then a bunch of blue ones, then a bunch on the right top, a bunch of red ones.
red ones are so pretty. They were all there, so he went to sleep, and he slept for a very long time. When he woke up, he was so refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place, and all he felt was his own
Checkered one.
checkered cap. He looked to the right, no caps. He looked to the left, no caps. He looked back.
No caps.
He looked behind the tree.
No caps.
Then he looked up in the tree, and what do you think he saw?
Monkeys with his caps.
On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray, or a brown, or a blue, or a
Red.
cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys they didn't listen at all, did they? This made the peddler very angry. Then he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both of his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps."
The monkeys do whatever he does.
They did the same thing, didn't they? They stamped their feet and they said, At last he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and he threw it on the ground and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. And all the gray caps,
The brown cats, all the blue cats, all the red ones
and
fell down.
they came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First he put his own checkered one, then the brown,
Then
brown,
the brown, down with the brown, and the blue ones, and the red ones.
and the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." And that was the end. And I bet he sold a lot of them that day. That was a very good book, wasn't it?
Now this
Okay, I'm up in this.